Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. And thank you so much for tuning in to our Monday motivation call. My name is Brittany Wright, and I am the fitness expert and nutrition provider here at Vitality Health Matrix. And I am so excited to talk to you guys today about what it can look like for setting some goals around your health, around your fitness that have nothing to do with weight loss. Fitness and movement will definitely help aid in your weight loss and or speed things up and make them more steady. But sometimes that can feel really daunting when we're focusing on a task simply for weight loss because there are so many factors that go into how we're losing weight, how often, how consistent. And sometimes when we are consistent with our workouts, we can actually see the scale fluctuate a little bit more. And that can be a little unmotivating. Maybe you've been there, maybe you've experienced that. So maybe you are experiencing that right now. Maybe you've lost a good amount of weight by just the supplements and changing nutrition and being more aware of some lifestyle habits that aren't serving you. And you started to add in fitness, and maybe that has slowed down the process, or maybe that has brought it to a standstill. And that's very common for your body to experience that as you add in another variable and as your body adapts. So pay attention to that information, use that information to your ability and your journey, and use that as information to change what you need to do. That's a whole nother call that we could do for another day. But today I just wanted to talk about what that can look like for your mental health, what that can look like for your physical goals, and to help you stay consistent and not frustrated with the scale and being more in tune with your movement, because that can also happen, right? Like, oh my gosh, we're eating so well. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and I'm having 10,000 steps a day, and I'm doing this, and working out, and I'm doing weightlifting, and I'm resting, and I'm doing all these things, but the scale is not moving. But other things are happening. Our body composition is changing. We are toning up our body. We're reducing the amount of fat on our body. But to encourage you and to keep that going, I wanted to give you some other metrics, some other ways to set some goals for yourself that work with you to feel empowered, to feel encouraged, to feel excited, and to help you stay consistent in whatever workout routine you have found yourself in with a good rhythm. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to um, share that so that you can have some encouragement here. So I'm going to push present. So you should be able to see the screen here. Hopefully, we can see that. And I am just going to walk through this little presentation and hopefully just encourage you to make some new goals for yourself as we round out February. Is the perfect week to kind of reassess like what worked well for you in February. Where did you kind of fall off with some goals that maybe you set for yourself? Did you set them too high? For example, like maybe like I'm going to work out 7 days a week, but that wasn't reality, but you were able to get in 4 days a week. So maybe the goal is 4 days a week, because to do that consistently might be very difficult. Like maybe there's a week we're doing four, maybe there's a week we're doing two. If we set the goal to four and we stay consistent with that, then the next month we can go into, maybe five. So we're going to talk about how setting some fun fitness goals that are not focused on weight loss can serve you, and I'm going to go through some examples. So choosing the right goals. When we set unrealistic weight loss goals or fitness goals or lifestyle goals, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and frustration. When we don't reach the goal, you start to feel like you failed, or you start to tell yourself like, oh, I knew I couldn't do that, or I know that's not me, or I should have known better than to set that goal, when in reality, we need to make sure that we're setting goals that are still like, wow, this is hard to accomplish, but it's also still in alignment with where my life is. So for example, it's very, very unrealistic for me to say I'm going to walk every day for an hour and I'm going to do weights for 45 minutes 5 days a week. That is a beautiful goal. It's great. We're going to lift weights. We're going to walk, whether it's inside, outside. We're going to get our steps. We're going to, build that muscle. But I will fail that because I don't have the time to do that every single day. Some days, yes, but not every day. Today was one of those days. I had to choose, do I want to walk or do I want to strength train? I had to choose that, right? But I've set goals for myself that are pushing the envelope and making sure that I am stepping up and stepping out of my comfort zone and stepping above what I just naturally can achieve. But I'm making sure that they are in alignment with what my lifestyle looks like. So I think that's a huge thing. We might have these huge goals, right? And that we want to do them, but we need to look at our work calendar, our kid schedule, what is realistically happening? How does your body respond? Can you work out 5 days a week and not feel puffy or not feel inflamed and your body responds? That's great. I love that. But I know my body and I can't do more than 4 training sessions a week without my body feeling puffy and inflamed, right? So I've learned that about my body. My body needs more rest than it does work. So I need to go 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off type of thing. So we need to make sure that you're choosing the right goals for yourself and taking in consideration your lifestyle, your commitment level, your motivation level, and what's realistic for you. So, what have we already learned? So, in conversations, in these past trainings, we have already learned that it is not about necessarily the outcome of our workouts, but it is about the habit of our workouts. It's about building confidence and self-efficacy, which means that every time you say, I'm going to work out or I'm going to walk, and you follow through with that, you are building confidence in yourself and you're trusting yourself that you're going to follow through with that. And committing to a workout regimen is huge, right? Like that's a big one that we start to build a belief about ourselves, and that belief is either instilling more belief in us or we are bringing in negative beliefs of like kind of what I mentioned on the very beginning of this call, where we start to say, oh, I knew that about me. I shouldn't have put that goal so high. I knew that was going to be impossible. Where instead we start saying, oh, I knew I was capable of that. I'm so glad I followed through with that. I knew and I trusted myself to follow through with that. It's about breaking old patterns, both physical and mental. So when we look at fitness goals, it's not just about are we losing weight or are we getting muscle, but are we breaking through old patterns? Just an example of that in my own life was I used to tell myself, if I don't get the workout in before 1, then I'm not going to do it. Like that's just silly. Or like just that was that stage of my life that I started to tell myself, well, when my stage of life started to change, that was a belief I had to start working through because now my kids were in school, but I was also working in the morning at home were my busiest times. So if I wanted to get a consistent workout schedule, I had to be open to the fact that that schedule, that workout might be at 1:30 in the afternoon or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, depending on the day. So I had to break through that old pattern and break through that old mental belief that if the workout didn't happen before 1, then it was scratched for the rest of the day. It's about releasing behaviors that don't serve you. So, what I mean by this is like, hey, when we get out of work, it's releasing this behavior of changing into comfy clothes and plopping on the couch for Netflix or breaking, in my own life, I have to release a behavior of getting home from sporting events and wanting to go to bed right away and plopping down. I need to release that behavior and realize like, hey, I have another hour of uninterrupted time that I could change my life. I could set up myself for success the next day. I could check in with clients. I could get my workout clothes out. I could wash my face. I could do some work. I could read a different book. It's releasing the behaviors that are not serving you and replacing them. It's about finding new behaviors and rhythms that serve you well in this season. So choosing your fitness goals can be based on a lot of this. Are we focusing on the outcome and not the habit? Do we build self-trust with ourselves as we go through them, or are we allowing ourselves to not? Are we breaking old physical patterns and mental patterns? Are you releasing behaviors that didn't serve you by committing to these goals? And are you finding new behaviors and new rhythms that, wow, this really serves me well? I have learned that by not getting in a workout at 6 a.m., I actually have more energy throughout the day. I have less cravings throughout the day. I'm not as sore the next day. If I get my workout in between the hours of 9 and 2, I actually have a better workout. That is something new that I've had to implement in my life in the last 18 months and let go of the pattern of working out at 5:30 because it was no longer serving me. Now, sometimes that is my favorite time of day. There is nothing I love more than getting up, having my quiet morning routine, going downstairs and busting through an amazing workout session, and then eating right away and going on with my day. That is not conducive to my everyday lifestyle. I can get that probably 2 or 3 days a month. And so when I can have that routine, I have it, I enjoy it, I soak it in. But the routine that serves me best physically through the whole day is the routine of working out in between 9 and 1 and just adjusting that, right? So I had to learn how to follow through with that and build self-trust that I wasn't going to let other activities come before that workout. I had to change that pattern. I had to change that mental breakthrough to that mental block to actually follow through with the goals that I've set for myself. So you might have to do a little bit of that as you tweak your goals and move things forward here. Clean that off a minute. So, what are goals that are fitness focused for new habits? We can work on a weekly step count. We're not focused on per day, but per week. And what I love most about this is that you get to be more flexible on some days than others. I talk to clients all throughout the week, and some days they have a really busy work schedule and they're meeting after meeting one day, which requires a lot of sitting. The next day, maybe they're working from home and they have a little bit more flexibility to get a walk in after breakfast, a walk in after lunch. So the day-to-day steps might vary, but overall throughout the week, they can still aim for, let's say, the average would be 10,000 steps per day, where some steps are 7, some days are 7, and some days are 12 or 13 because of the flexibility. But if we look at the overall week, that allows you to have less rigidness of this has to happen on this day. And then we have we have meetings from 8 to 4, and then we have a 2 hour or an hour commute to home, and then we get home and we make dinner, and then we drive our kids to sporting events where we sit in the bleachers, and all of a sudden we have 12 hours of our 15 that we're awake and we're sitting down and we can't help it. So maybe the steps are a little bit lower, but the following day is different. And so a weekly step count can help bring in some more flexibility throughout your week and help you achieve that goal more confidently. Um, a monthly step goal. Okay, so I was like, wait a second. So a monthly step goal. This might mean I did this in the month of October. I wanted to have, I think I put 400,000 steps, which was over 10,000 steps per day. And I did that because I needed to push myself out of my comfort zone of 9,000, 10,000 steps. And I was like, okay, I'm going for a big monthly goal here because some days I could only hit 10,000, where there were other days like today where I could get out for an hour walk. But overall, I wanted to track my monthly steps to make sure that I was getting moving more every single day. So this is for someone who's ready for a bit more focus and intensity. So let's say you're hitting your steps at 9,000 a day. So if we did 9,000 times 30, let me get that up. So if we did 9,000 times 30, that's 270,000 steps. So I would look at someone and say, if you're consistently getting 9,000 steps a day, I would say, then let's do 280,000 steps for the month, right? So we're just pushing the envelope just a little bit. But this allows you that some days are really good and some days are a little bit less, but we're looking at a monthly focus for a longer duration goal versus the weekly step count. Maybe you have a weekly workout frequency goal. So there's no set days. This is how I'm functioning right now. I don't say I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I don't have set days. I want to work out 4 days a week with strength and I want to get in at least 4 walks. So that's 8 exercises, right? That's 8 days, 8 times that I'm getting that goal done. And so every week, and I did a call on this in the very beginning, I sit down and I write down what days I'm getting my walks and what days I'm getting my workouts. So today I have a walk and a workout. Tomorrow I just have a walk. Just a workout. It's a really busy day. So I'm just gonna get my workout in. I probably won't get a walk. Wednesday is a walk. Thursday is a walk and a workout. Friday is a walk and a workout. Saturday is just a workout. So I have my calendar set out. I know what days. I'm not stuck to any days, but this gives me some flexibility in what days I need to adjust to get that workout in. This allows me to listen to my body and do what's best and stick within that week. I also don't have like, I have to do this workout on this day. I just have 4 workouts that I do throughout the week. And I wake up and today I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good. I'm going to get like, I need 35 minutes. I'm going to get a ab exercise in. I'm going to do it full abs and arms. I'm going to go down and do that. Tomorrow I may wake up and be like, oh, I have full 45 minutes. I can do that and I'm going to do my lower and upper body. So I love the flexibility of this because there's no like set schedule. And I think that there is some value in that. Um, to give you flexibility, but still have something you need to strive for. Same thing, monthly workout frequency goal to increase your intensity of your workouts. So this sets a little bit more intention where we can't be willy-nilly with the weeks and we have to get, 4 or 5. Like if your goal is 20 workouts this week or this month, you need to make sure that you're at least getting 5. And I would say if monthly workout frequency goal, that would include your walks and your workouts. Just depends on, what your bigger goal is, right? So this sets a little bit more intention to your week and focus to get in because you might get down to the end of the week or the end of the month. You're like, oh, I still have 6 workouts to go. So you might have to work out 6 times that week. But again, approaching these goals with, we don't want to be comfortable. You want to push yourself a little bit, right? So I chose 4 because that felt doable with our busy season and as much travel as my family and I did in January, February. Now, when I look at March, we're home, we're not traveling. I might go up to say, hey, I'm going to do 4 workouts and 5 walks because we're home on the weekend and that allows me that extra day where I'm not traveling. I can get that in. So paying attention to where you are and what you need and not focusing on like, oh, I'm just going to work out for weight loss or I'm just following this plan, but really setting intention to say like, here's a weekly step goal I want to get, here's a monthly step goal and making sure that you're using that and doing a check-in with yourself to say, am I on track to finish this without stressing myself out by the end of the month? So other modes of movement to add in, we talked like strength and walks or steps, but you could do mobility workouts. So instead of doing a workout, where it's like weightlifting, you could say, I'm going to do 2 weightlifting workouts a week and I'm going to do 2 mobility workouts a week. And this is about less physique and more about moving and how you're living well, how your joints are moving, how your muscles are feeling. I know a lot of people when I get on the call, they're like, oh, I need to work out more. And it's like, it's not necessarily that we need to lift more weights, but we need to be more mobile. We sit in this position quite often in the car, when we're eating, when we're working, that sometimes we just need to do some more mobility versus an actual workout. You can add in some yoga and stretching. So adding in workouts that alleviate and lower stress versus increase. So this would be, if you're a high stress person and you have high cortisol running through your body, I would say we're not quite ready to put in exercise yet. It can help decrease your cortisol, but I think in the very beginning, doing some light stretching and breathing can alleviate your stress and reduce your cortisol faster and better than jumping into a weighted workout. You can work on your core pelvic floor. So if we run to the bathroom or if we can't jump or we can't run because we are afraid of leaking, if we cough and we leak, I would say that's a great way. That's a great, great way to indicate that we need to work on your core and your pelvic floor. And again, that has nothing to do with weight loss, but let's focus on your health, your core health, your pelvic floor. That can help reduce low back pain. That can help reduce headaches. That can help reduce TMJ. That can help reduce hamstring pulls and injury. Um, but these are all three things that when we look at your health as a whole and we take quote unquote typical exercise out of it, that working in these three things throughout the week are going to improve your life, your blood work, your nutrition, and your lifestyle, your sleep so much better than feeling like you have to get in a 45-minute weightlifting session. I don't ever want anyone to view and say, oh, I only did stretching today, because doing that stretching today is going to improve your quality of life, improve how you can get in and out of your car, how you stand up and sit down, how you bend down, and in 5 years from now, whether or not you're going to have injury as you do those things as we age. So all of these things play into a huge piece of your health overall. So it doesn't have to be just weight training or just walks. It can be any of these included. So fitness goals examples, I wanted to go through just a few other options if you didn't want weekly or monthly, but walking, it could just be the number of, excuse me, the number of walks per week. So, so maybe you're someone who simply needs to move more because you have a desk job or you do a lot of sitting. It can be, okay, I need to get 3 walks in per week. There's no boundary around how long they need to be or what mileage they need to be. They just need to be you getting out for 3 times a week to go for a walk or whatever goal you set. It could be mileage. So maybe it's, I want to walk 10 miles a week. So maybe that's 2 miles, 5 days a week. Maybe that's, 3 miles, 3 days a week and 1 mile. Like the mileage is the goal. You make that goal fit for your life and what works. Maybe it's steps per day, like we talked about earlier, a month or a week. The other thing is changing your stand or sit goal. I know those Apple Watches tell like, hey, you've been sitting for 12 hours. Like, do you need to take that into consideration to help you get up and get moving more so throughout the day? When we talk about lifting, can you commit to a routine? Is there, we have a beautiful program for you from Circuit 1 and Circuit 2 to follow. So maybe it's saying, hey, I'm going to follow this routine today and I'm going to start and on March 1 and I'm going to follow Circuit 1's calendar. I'm going to follow that. I'm going to commit to that routine. Maybe you've committed to the routine and you've done Circuit 1 and Circuit 2, and now you're going to say, okay, I'm going to increase, but increase each exercise by 5 to 10 pounds. I'm going to really push myself with the routine that I committed to. It's similar to what I was talking about earlier. Maybe it's times per week or times per month. Um, Variety, I love this one. So if you do have a good routine, but you need to push yourself a little bit, you could try a new workout each month. Maybe you try, what I mean by that is like you try Circuit 2 this month and you do that one time, or you hop on YouTube and you can find someone there that you can try a workout there. Or maybe it's like trying a new class with Pilates or a cycling class or a yoga class or a weightlifting class, a bodybuilding class, something to just get you to learn and move your body in a different way to see what you fall in love with and how your body responds best. Mobility, it could be, hey, I'm going to stretch before bed, or I'm going to stretch in the morning before my day gets moving. I'm going to work on a specific area. This is one that I was doing so good in the beginning of 2024 school season. When the kids started going to school, I was so good about foam rolling when I woke up in the morning. And I noticed a huge difference in my pelvic floor and in my hip area and how tight that is. And so the other day I was like, oh, I need to get back to these. I've been doing them here or there, but there is value in consistently doing them. I need to put them back on my regimen as a goal that I want to do this every single day. So even doing something as that, as a quick 5-minute stretch, and when I say stretch, I mean, it can just be moving your body, just things that like it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Like sitting here doing this right now just feels so good. It opens up your back muscles and you're doing it in a mobile way. It gets fluid through this joint. So good. And then you can heal. Do you need to heal from an injury? Do you need to go to PT? Are there things that are bothering you that we shouldn't have to be living with? Do we need to make the time to heal those injuries or diastasis recti or a weak pelvic floor? Those are all things that we can focus on that improve our health. There are a lot of women that I have come in contact with that shouldn't even be lifting weights yet because their pelvic floor or diastasis recti is not healed yet, and we're doing more damage. So if that's an area that you're like, oh, I need to improve that, there's value there. That's a fitness goal. That is a body healing goal, and that is going to serve you so well throughout the rest of your life. So maybe it's not a walk, maybe it's not lifting, maybe it's sitting back and taking a step back and saying, are there some areas of my life and in my body that I need to heal? I had to do TMJ therapy for like 2 months because I was getting continuous headaches and this area is so tight. I had to start doing neck exercises. I still have to do them throughout the week. Good stretches that I have to do throughout the week. I had to focus on healing that area of my life so I could heal different areas of my life and have better quality of life. I had to stop my lifting routine so I could heal another area. And that's okay. Everything's for a time being. So these are just some examples. You can take a screenshot here and just give yourself some ideas to steer away from I'm working out to lose weight. It's more or less like I'm doing this goal because I want to build confidence in myself and I want to follow through with what I want to do, and that's why I'm doing this goal. Oh, that was a different different slide. We don't want to do that. Okay, so when we think about fitness, one of the things that often comes to our mind is we're working out to lose weight. And yes, that is so helpful. And we can lose weight by working out. But I would love for you to put on a different lens when it comes to fitness and say, I'm doing this for just better quality of life. I'm doing this to better manage my blood sugar. I'm doing this to better manage my cortisol. I'm doing this for better digestion. I'm doing this to build confidence in myself and to change how my body responds. And great goals to make sure that you're following through are all the things that we listed and talked about today. So I just wanted to, I know I see Maria on. If she has any questions, you can put them in the sidebar or you can unmute.
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you. It was